Hi, Dee Gardner here. I'm going to talk about the dismissive avoidant attachment style, the dismissive avoidant attachment style. If you took the questionnaire at the workshop and you scored in the dismissive avoidant attachment style, here are a reminder of the traits, and here are some strategies to help you with getting this attachment style under control so that you can move closer into the direction of developing a learned secure attachment style. So the basic premise of a dismissive avoidant attachment style is I'm good, you're bad. I'm good, you're bad. I'm the good person, you're the bad person. What is wrong with you? I couldn't have possibly done anything wrong. You're bad. They're very guarded. They may have difficulty remembering their childhood. They would rather recall this rosy childhood. Everything was great. I had loving parents. My parents were wonderful, but then they may not be able to recall not one really positive experience with the parent. So a dismissive attachment style, dismissive avoidant attachment style, they're guarded. They have trouble remembering their childhood and the details, some specifics, and they avoid introspection. You're like, why are you asking me all these questions? Oh, well, you came to therapy. So anyways, the dismissive attachment style seems to not want love or connection. They seem to not want love or connection, but they really do. They know how to start a relationship. They know how to be in that honeymoon, that first stage of a relationship where everything's very exciting. But when it comes to initiating romance on an ongoing basis, when it comes to maintaining a healthy relationship, when the demands for intimacy comes into play, where we need to talk, we need to resolve things, we need to admit things, we need to be vulnerable, we need to apologize, those types of things, that's where they are gonna fall short. They're unsure how to do that. They deny that they need love. So that person, this dismissive attachment style person, grew up not getting the love that they needed, not getting the love, the nurturing, the praise, not unconditionally. They didn't get it, so they start denying it. They start saying, well, I won't feel pain and I won't have that hunger and that longing if I just don't need it. So they just said, I don't need. They become very independent. Being dependent is a threat. Being needy is a threat. Needing others are threats. Needing something from another person is a threat. And so they've learned to take those emotions, push them down, and be independent. Hence, they appear to not really want a relationship. They're very charismatic at first. They're not concerned about their needs. They're not concerned about their needs early on. They avoid talking about the past. The dismissive attachment style person, one of the most important things for you to hear about the dismissive attachment style person is that they look at love and affection as a threat. Love and affection are threats because it makes them vulnerable and it can make them needy, and that's not okay. They had to push that part aside. Cognitive dissonance will develop where we'll say, I need, if I love you, that means I'm going to miss you. That means I might long for you. That means you can hurt me, and that's not okay, because that level of closeness, that level of intimacy is painful for them. So this dismissive attachment style person will detach emotionally. They turn their emotions off. They push them down. So oftentimes if I say, how do you feel? They'll say, I feel like, and I say, how do you feel? They'll say, I feel that, and they say, and they start continuing. I'll say, give me one word, and then they stop. Feeling, I don't know, good. They can't pinpoint a specific feeling like frustrated, sad, happy, excited, those types of things, disappointed. They much rather give thoughts instead of these long sentences instead of feeling words. When they start feeling love or closeness, they interpret it they start nitpicking at the people close to them, and then they interpret that as the source. They will say, this person is irritating me, when actually it is intimacy, the drive for intimacy that's irritating them, the desire for love feelings beginning to develop in them, and they don't know what that is, and they're much more comfortable and familiar with feeling irritated, angry, frustrated, that type of thing. They start demanding, they start complaining, when actually that's love. And so that's a threat. When the dismissive attachment style person feels anxious, they label it as irritable and annoyance. So they're anxious because they're beginning to long for someone, or someone's beginning to demand more in the relationship. Someone is beginning to want them to show up and be vulnerable and talk things through or resolve issues, or connect at that gentle side of affection and praise. They're wanting that. The dismissive style person will become annoyed. They'll say, this person is so needy. They're so clingy. They want to spend time together all the time. Why are they? They're smothering me. They're suffocating me. I can't breathe. They're calling me all the time. They're texting me all the time. So they're much more comfortable with that, and that is how that person's learned to survive even as a child, is to become annoyed when people get close to them because closeness was not okay. The dismissive attachment style person will avoid touch. They avoid affection. They find fault in the other person. They become critical, would rather the other person leave the relationship. They're in the relationship out of obligation. Avoidance will remain in a relationship out of guilt and obligation, which is certainly not love. It doesn't lend itself to love and connection. But they will remain in that relationship out of guilt and obligation. So the avoidant is so frustrated. The narcissist would have a dismissive avoidant attachment style. Those are the traits. Here are some things that a person with a dismissive attachment style might do in order to help get it under control. Number one, they need to accept. It's important to accept that you have the problem. Now, this attachment style is the one that's the least happy about accepting this particular attachment style, the dismissive attachment style. They're also one that may not recognize it because they're not into being introspective. They're not crazy over going on the inside and shining that light on the inside of them and seeing what's going on with all those emotions, those thoughts, and all of that. Even the nature of, when you think about dismiss and dismissive, they dismiss, they push back, and they challenge. So accept that this is you. Accept that is what you tend to do. Whether you accept it or not, it doesn't change it. So if you answer the questionnaire and you scored in this attachment style in any of those areas, it's okay. You are who you are. And there's a reason why you're there, and it is for protection, it is for survival, and this is how you have needed to grow up. This is how you needed to survive as you were growing up. So here's the thing. It's treatable. You can heal from this. You too can develop a secure attachment style. If you're not, unless you've moved into the realm of narcissism, you can heal. You can develop a learned secure attachment style. So here's one thing that you could do. Begin focusing on your sensations. Begin focusing on your body. If you notice a tightness here, or tension there, or ache here, really to make a conscious effort to take your mind there. And when you're becoming upset about something, rather than going from 0 to 100, it's their fault, they're wrong, they're bad, stop, breathe, and start evaluating what's going on with you. Remain on your side. Look at yourself, not from a self-pity standpoint, but notice, first of all, feelings. The big key for you, Mr. or Mrs. Defensive Attachment Style, is become comfortable, get familiar with your emotions. There are cards, I have them in my office. Some therapists have them. You can order them. There are all types of things. There are charts to help you with learning to identify emotions. So physical sensations is one thing. I feel hot over here. I feel heat over there. I feel cold over there. Even right now, what are you feeling? What are you feeling inside right now? So get really comfortable with sensations and feelings going on in your body. Learn to observe your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. And you are not your thoughts. You are an observer of them. You can observe them both. They're separate. Thoughts and feelings are separate. So observe your thoughts. What are you thinking? Even right now, if you were to observe what you're thinking as you listen to this video, watch this video, what are you thinking? Be an active observer of your thoughts. Just observe how you think. Separate love from anxiety. So when someone is getting closer to you, and this isn't necessarily, this may or may not be a romantic relationship, but someone's being nice to you, someone's being kind to you, someone's maybe asking you questions, they're making inquiries. Notice, are you feeling anxious? Are you beginning to feel close? Be mindful of how you feel. Begin to separate anxiety and irritation from positive feelings. Start separating the closeness. What is this that I feel? I'm in this room with these 6 people, and we're going to be in this room for 8 hours. What's this that I feel? Anxious might be one of them, but what are some of the other ones? You might start finding some softer, loving, heartfelt feelings inside of you, but you're going to have to stop. Take a deep breath, breathe from your diaphragm, and notice what you're feeling, especially anxiety. You might be able to pick up on anxiety real quick, and you can peg irritation and frustration really quick as well. I want you to see if you can go deeper than that. Learn to love yourself. If you have a dismissive attachment style, not only do you dismiss other people, you dismiss yourself. You're your worst critic. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle on yourself. You have learned to shut your emotions down, and you have learned to be hard and independent and not a soft, open person with your heart open, because it hurt in the past. And so it's time for you to do this for yourself. This is one of the reasons why I'm so big on the inner child piece. The inner child concept is more critical is even more critical for the dismissive attachment style. There is that softer person inside of you. So when you're beating up on yourself, when you're hard on yourself, when you're putting yourself down, when you have these negative thoughts going through your head, that's why you got to monitor them. You're doing that to like this little child inside of you. That's what you're doing. You're being really hard on that little person. So learn to love yourself. Embrace yourself. Embrace your full self. Embrace all these feelings. Nurture yourself. Sometimes a person with a dismissive style doesn't know how to do things to nurture themselves other than things that get them in trouble. Maybe addiction of some sort. It's important to learn to like some things. Go on the internet and look up what nurturing is. What does nurturing really mean? Nurturing can be anywhere. One that's real popular with people is bubble baths. Nurturing can be massages and lotions. just taking your time and really, really taking your time and being very slow and intentional about moves, being very mindful. For example, if you are eating, you take your time and you notice how the food tastes. You notice how it's situated on the plate. You notice how it feels in your mouth. You notice how it feels going down. You notice how your belly feels as the food hits it. You're just mindful of every little thing. So you do that in many areas. If you're sitting at your desk, look around. If you're at work, you look around, notice things. You might start noticing things you didn't notice before because you're an avoidant. Avoidants don't notice things. Avoidants avoid. So I'm having you pay attention to little fine details. If you wash dishes, rather than grab dishes and put them in a dishwasher, sometimes fill up your sink with bubbles and hand wash your dishes. Notice the suds. Notice how the water feels. Notice the suds as it is parting in the water. Notice all the little bitty bubbles, that kind of thing. So you begin to notice, the little small things. You know how they said stop and smell the roses? Literally, if you have a dismissive attachment style, go somewhere, go to the park, go out. You may not have to go far. Go outside and find some flowers somewhere. Look at them. Just really take a minute, look at them. Take a moment. And you might be sitting and looking at that flowers and, oh my God, I'm going to do this. I don't see any reason. There you go. Observe those thoughts. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. If you're sitting there, let's say you're doing some cheesy assignment, that I've said, go outside and look at a flower. Look at the grass. Go sit there and you take a minute and you take 5. Give yourself a certain amount of time that you're going to sit there, and that is where your mind is going to go. That's going to be the most important thing. If I give you an assignment like that and you start griping to yourself, that though, why would I do something that's so crazy? I can't. Okay, I'll do it. You are beating up on yourself, and the only person that can hear that is you. And you're hearing that over and over and over again. And you have that softer part of you, that softer part of you that's inside, that's being beat up and that's hearing that over and over and over and over again. Life can be good. Life can be joyous. There is a way out of that. That is no way to live. You can be happy, joyous, and free. So nurture, as awful as that may sound. So if you're a partner, and here's something, if you have a dismissive attachment style and you have a partner, or if you're a partner of a person that has a dismissive attachment style, here are 3 things I want to let you know. This person is not pushing you away. The goal is not to push you away. The goal is to push love away. Those softer feelings, that's what's uncomfortable, and that's what they're pushing away. Number 2, when they pull away, and avoidants tend to do that because they don't want intimacy. When they pull away, detach from it. You can do it lovingly. Look, I care about you. Express the care and be done with that. Do not chase after them. Hey, preoccupied, obsessive anxiety people, don't chase that avoidant. Don't go after them. Care about them. Love them. But don't chase them. Don't smother them. Okay? And then the last thing, the avoidant needs to have boundaries. Oftentimes, an avoidant, a dismissive avoidant in particular, will get in a relationship with the person where there are little demands. And so it is very important to have boundaries because life does have consequences. Our choices do have consequences that comes along with them. So those are 3 things that a partner in a relationship with a person with a dismissive attachment style